Hey everybody, this is Zach with KT Outdoors. Thanks for tuning in for today's episode. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at something I picked up at Walmart that I just couldn't help myself from grabbing once I saw it, and that is the Carnivore X Machete. Stay tuned. We'll see what we find inside. Coming up next. Okay, well, Camillus Carnivore X. This one actually comes with the molded sheath, so it's a hard plastic sheath, so we'll see what we find in there. Has the small trimming knife, which has an integrated spot in the sheath. I'm anxious to see what kind of retention there is on that. If it's not very good, then it might make a really epic neck knife, just to be able to have another blade close at hand when you're out and about. Yeah, it feels like a slightly better handle than some of the other reviews that I've seen. This one's a little bit more rubberized. It doesn't feel like it's as hard of a plastic, at least on the end. We'll see what happens when I get it out. It does say on all Camillus products that there is a lifetime warranty, but it does say that you have to save the original box. So send the product in its original box for proof of purchase along with an explanation of defect. So when you open these things, you want to make sure that you are careful about it so that you save the packaging. So anyway, let's see what we've got. Feels nice in the hand. Much smoother metal than the last video where we looked at that survival knife from Harbor Freight. Like it feels much nicer. It looks wicked. Let's see what else is in here. So we've got the blade itself. This thing is light as a feather. It does have a couple of sockets there so that you could grab onto some wrenches. Weighs absolutely nothing. Like as a neck knife, it would be pretty perfect actually. Maybe wrap this with some paracord so it had a little bit better handle. Make yourself some sort of a sheath to hold it in. That has some intriguing potential. Okay, it comes with a little description. Clean thoroughly with soap and water. Immediately towel dry. Oil the blade with steel lubricant to prevent rust. Use glass cleaner on the handle. Sharpening the blade is essential. Use a stone. Sharpen the edge at 18 to 22 degrees. Always store a fine knife outside of the sheath. And a little bit about the company. Sheath is very strong. It's got a little bit of flex to it, but not a ton. I would not call it waterproof, just because I can expose the seam here with just a little bit of flexing. Nylon webbing on the top that is some sort of screw system screwed in there on the top. It feels very strong. So there's that. very loose there, but you've got this single crossbar, which is enough to hold it, and then on the top of the strap is another one. The quality of these buckles compared to the last knife review that we did, which was that old Harbor Freight knife that we picked up, much better. There is some wobble there though. I don't know how that's gonna feel on a pack, and honestly, glancing at it, not a ton of room in the sheath, and you can't get through there. Like, that's all the more that you get, right? So I've got an old belt in here. Let's check. So it's just a standard old leather belt. Oh yeah, fits through, no problems there. Okay, so not too bad. Let's check. Let's check the retention on this little caping knife. Seems to want to hold. So overall, not too shabby. I do think that my 10-cent take on this thing is it's a better neck knife than a sheath knife. So that may be something that I look at down the road as a place to store it, but overall it looks pretty cool. I like this sheath. One of the main complaints on reviews that I'd seen on older versions of this product was that the sheath was more like this, with this cheap nylon kind of webbing stuff. So Camillus has, at least in this version, kind of upgraded to a much more robust sheath. So it's kind of a nice feature to see. And then as far as like draw, like it comes right out. Part of the reason being that it's so loose in the sheath, really, once it's in there. And quite frankly, I wanted to hold this thing. it just looks so cool in the packaging, and it feels, I mean, it's got some good balance to it. I don't know. It just feels so much better than the Harbor Freight knife did. So let's see. Again, I don't really know that this is the task that we should be performing with a machete. But if you've seen the Harbor Freight video, I'll put a link in the description if you maybe missed that one, on that survival knife. That survival knife had some issues with this exact same piece of wood, and this one's going through it as good as the Mora Companion did. So out of the box, I'm impressed with the sharpness of this blade, at least on this little whittling test. Yeah, that's not too bad. I don't know how good I am at this paper thing, but you can see it cut for a little bit before it ripped. It's trying to grab. It's just, oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm moderately impressed with this one, I have to admit. Here's a slightly bigger chunk of wood. It's got some dampness here on the bottom. It was on the ground. This is the saw mark from the Harbor Freight knife. Let's go ahead before we whittle it and let's check the saw on this one. That was one of the biggest complaints on the couple reviews that I saw online, was that the saw didn't cut well and doesn't feel good, which immediately I agree. This handle feels very good this way, which is good. It should, because that's how you would really chop with it, right? But when you turn it over like this to use that saw, this is the best you can do, is wedge your thumb up in there like that, and I feel like the back of my hand could slip really easy, and I don't have much to hold on to back here. Okay, let's saw. It's very similar. It went through it a little better than the... Okay, I will concede that it works much better as a pull saw. Which is maybe something that the people that I've at least seen on YouTube testing didn't quite understand. I wouldn't have thought it. I just kind of accidentally stumbled onto it, honestly, but you can see how much better that worked. It is a huge channel with those blades, and I'm wondering if that's not part of the issue when you try to push pull with something like this. But if you just, you know, get it in that same groove over and over again, and then just pull, that seems to work much better. I'm not really whacking this thing very hard because I don't want to mess up the table. I mean, it's not a robust table, but it seems to have pretty good bite. Felt good, like my hand's not overly vibrating. It was a good bite. So yeah, I'm anxious to get that out and try it on some actual chunks of living wood and some different things. I'm pretty happy with that. It feels nice. We'll see how it feels once we get out in the field and actually do some stuff with it. This little tiny blade feels so cheap, but for fine carving, I mean, it dug right in there without any issues. Yeah, that's not... I would like a little more grip here personally. They market this as a spear tip on the packaging. I could see that. I don't know that I'd try to kill something big with it. I mean, maybe as a frog gig, it might work okay or something like that. Let's see how it does on this slightly bigger chunk of wood. It's just very, very small. So to me, it would, like, just thinking out loud, playing with this stuff, basically, to me as a neck knife, you know, just have that quick and easy available, cut through something simple that you needed to cut through, could be useful. But I do want to wrap that with some paracord personally, maybe put a little lanyard on it or something and have a little thing that you could go there. But overall, kind of a cool little kit to pick up at an affordable price if you're in the market for this kind of stuff. You know, I mean, like me, I'm just kind of starting out on this whole bushcrafting thing, which is why I'm focusing at the moment, at least, on getting some kind of budget gear that's affordably priced, but still decent tools that'll do the job. And I think this, to me, right now, fits that mold. Like, it was less than $30 for what feels like something that will do some decent work. Again, we'll have to see how the field test video goes, but certainly has some potential to be a useful asset in your bushcrafting / preparedness / general camping tools. So anyway, kind of cool.